Hi, my name is John.
And my name is Lloyd.
And we're the hosts of The Pint,
a pop culture podcast.
Lloyd, if you had to tell any of the people out there that might be listening to The Pint for the first time about anything unsavory or disconcerting we might do on the show, what would you warn them about?
Well, sometimes we drop spoilers, and sometimes we swear like motherfucking sailors.
Fuck yeah, we do. You heard it from him. You've been warned.
Listen in.
Are you an angel?
I am the first angel, loved once above all others. A perfect love. But like all true love, one day it withered on the vine.
Welcome to a brand new episode of The Pint, a pop culture podcast. My name is John.
My name is Lloyd.
And it is All Horror October here. And today we'll be talking about a film from 1995 all about angels.
Yeah.
Angels and God and
badass angels.
Devil and Christopher Walken. That's right. You know it before you even say it. We're talking about The Prophecy.
Come on! Let's do this together!
So The Prophecy was released on September 1st of 1995, written and directed by a guy named Gregory Widen. As a writer, Widen
writer.
What? Yeah. Fuck, that was
hard to say.
As a writer, Widen wrote Backdraft, which, if you remember on the Pint Insider, me and Larry did that a few years ago. Larry fucking hated that movie. He also wrote another film about warring immortals, Highlander.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a thing with him. And then he created a TV show that was on the WB in 1999 for one season called Rescue 77. So not a whole ton of stuff, but he does have that going for him. These movies, The Prophecy, it's not just one. This thing has had 4 sequels, and here we go. In 1998, The Prophecy Part 2 came out. In 2000, Part 3 came out. That one was called The Ascent. That was the last one to have Christopher Walken in it.
All right.
So he did the first 3. And then in 2005, they banged you twice. Prophecy 4, Uprising, and Prophecy 5, The Forsaken.
I didn't know there was that many.
That many, right? You have the 3, right?
I went to the archive and I bought the 3-pack. Really cool packaging like they do. And I've only ever seen The Prophecy. I've never seen the sequels, but I will. I mean, you know me. I'm not a huge sequel guy. I'm fine with the first one, but I'm going to check out the other 2. All
right. So not a ton of info on this one. Filmed between September and November of 1993 in all over Arizona, Superior, Phoenix, and a town called Miami. There's a town in Arizona called Miami.
Yeah.
The church scene where Gabriel, Christopher Walken, talks to one of our characters was filmed in Los Angeles. So really, when it gets down to production, that's really all I got. I didn't find a whole ton. Gregory Widen really hasn't done much more. I mean, the guy wrote fucking Highlander, so that's more than I've ever done in my life.
I found something called Space Rangers, a TV show that he wrote.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't even remember that. Do you remember that?
No, funnily enough, I remember Rescue 77 because it was like the first year that I lived in Wallingford. The first year I moved there, and I just used to weeknights I would just watch whatever was on fucking TV. And I remember watching that show because when I was looking up what it was about, I'm like, it was like a show about EMTs. Yeah. Right. And I'm like, I remember that.
It sounds vaguely familiar to me, but I've never seen it.
25 years old and canceled after one season. So this thing is not on DVD. Most people don't remember that. All right, let's get into it, Manster. Let's talk about the cast of this film.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
So we have Christopher Walken as Gabriel.
That's good.
Was it?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm typically, I love trying to do walking, but I can't.
Well, it was good.
But it was only one word, though.
But that's fine. That's how you start.
That's fine. All right. You'll know him from A View to a Kill, The Deer Hunter, one of John's favorite all-time Stephen King movies, The Dead Zone.
The ice.
Yeah.
It's gonna break.
It's gonna break. Go home. Your kid's on fire. Pulp Fiction with the watch up his ass for 25 years.
This uncomfortable hunk of metal in my ass. 52 years.
One of my favorite turns of his is True Romance.
Oh, yeah.
He was in that. Yeah. He was Colonel Angus on Saturday Night Live and danced in a Fat Boy Slim video.
That's right.
Yep. And one thing I just have to say, I'm just not a fan of the hairstyle in this movie.
The black kind of...
I wouldn't mind it black, but it should have just... I would have liked longer hair.
No, see, here's your problem. So we were going to do this episode earlier, so we watched it a week ago.
Yeah.
Right? And then I rewatched it on Monday. And on Monday, I watched it on... I own the DVD, but on Monday, I watched it on Tubi.
Okay. Oh.
And
so it was like 5 hours.
It played... Well, not just that, but it played through... the sequels as well. And I was doing housework and stuff, so I let it play. In at least the second one, he wears a long wig because his character, it looks fucking awful.
Oh,
it looks awful. So I think I'm fine with this hairdo. And I think if you saw the wig, when you do get to it, you're going to go, no, it's good. It's fine.
All right. We have Elias Koteas as Thomas Daggett. I like to call him Doubting Thomas.
Doubting Thomas.
There's a lot of biblical names in this, all except for Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. Yeah, the corpse.
He's the only non-biblical type character. Elias Koteas is basically Christopher Maloney's doppelganger.
Pretty much. And he's also part Robert De Niro, young Robert De Niro.
Yeah. So you'll remember Elias from some kind of wonderful Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Your favorite.
Yep. Zodiac, The Killing. That was a TV show. I forget what channel that was on, but I used to like that.
I remember it, but I've never seen it. Yeah.
And Chicago PD, not Law and Order SVU.
No.
Then we have Virginia Madsen as Catherine.
She looks so fucking hot in this movie.
Oh my god! It was my very first note was she's an awesome brunette.
Yeah, she's widely remembered and known as a blonde. And we did recently earlier this year Candyman.
Yep.
And she's blonde and that shorter hair. This is a couple years later, and her hair's dyed dark.
Yeah.
And she's always wearing belly shirts in this movie.
Yeah.
She's a teacher, but she's constantly in belly shirts. Yeah.
I've always liked Virginia Madsen, but I just have this newfound for Virginia. She was in Class, as John said, Candyman, and then again in Candyman. She was in Sideways, really funny, good movie.
Yep.
And she was in the short-lived Swamp Thing HBO show.
That's right. She was she was a begrieving, or is begrieving a word? She was a grieving mother. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Begrieving.
It is now.
It has not made it.
And then we have Eric Stoltz as Simon. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yep.
We did that here. Some kind of wonderful singles. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
I like that. Good soundtrack. Also Pulp Fiction and 2 Days in the Valley.
Yeah, this is Pulp Fiction era Eric Stoltz because he's got the long hair.
Yeah. He's Simon the Good Angel in this movie. Viggo Mortensen as Lucifer. And I just have to say, this is the best Lucifer I've ever seen.
He's awesome. Yeah.
It's so fucking good. You remember him from Witness? I believe we did that.
That's right.
As well. Yeah. Carlito's Way. History of Violence. Didn't we talk about? Wasn't that on a poll?
We're going to be doing that.
We are doing that.
Yes.
All right, good. Because I saw that about a year ago or two. Eastern Promises, which we also did.
Naked Fight.
Yep. Oh, man, that was a rough fight.
Yeah, it was.
Slipping on that tile. I'm just like, oh, you're going to get hurt. Stop it.
Those linoleum knives they're attacking him with. He's getting slashed across the gut and stuff. Yeah.
And, of course, he was Aragorn, Strider, whatever. From Lord of the Rings. Yep. Amanda Plummer as Rachel, also from Pulp Fiction. World According to Garp. Free Jack.
Yep.
We never did that, but we've talked about that movie before.
Yeah, well, we could do that.
Needful Things.
Okay.
And she was not in The Shining, but she does look a bit like Shelley Duvall.
She does. I always think of her
There's
from...
just a little thing there.
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That too. Mariah Shining Dove Snyder.
Badass Indian name. Badass Native American name. Pardon me.
Yeah. As Mary.
Not a good actress, though.
So she's from the Shoshone American Indian tribe. She's an actress and singer who appeared in many musicals before, and this movie was 95.
Yeah.
So she appeared in many musicals before winning the 1992 National Junior Vocalist title.
Her singing
Star
voice
Search.
must be incredible because her acting skills
really
are
good.
not.
Yeah. She was in Will Rogers Follies, Gypsy, Annie 2. Those are all stage.
Okay.
And she was in the Brady Bunch movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember her, but she was one of the little kids.
Haven't seen that in a long time.
This one was a good one. Andy Goldberg as Jerry. I'm sorry, Adam Goldberg as Jerry. I don't know where Andy came from. From Dazed and Confused, which I love. Saving Private Ryan, which is the most
heart-wrenching death scene
ever.
His death scene is nightmare-inducing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ed TV.
I only saw that once.
Yeah. Okay. Zodiac again, and then played Eddie in the TV show Friends.
Yeah, he was also there. He was also in like this Comedy Central independent movie, I think, called The Hebrew Hammer, which was pretty funny.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's fitting. And then finally, Steve Hintner as Joseph, the mortician. Or whatever he was.
Banya.
Yeah. He was Kenny Banya in Seinfeld, and apparently Jerry still owes him a lunch.
The soup is the meal.
The soup is the meal.
Maybe we go to Mendy's, Jerry. And here, the crazy thing is, I don't know about all of them. That character recurs. He's like they use because they can get him back, right? Like everybody else is busy. Christopher Walken will do it because it's a paycheck. But then they're like, Koteas is gone, Madsen's gone, but they're like, get fucking Banya.
Get Banya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he was in Face Off.
Oh, okay.
Face Off.
I want to take your face off. All right, that's it for cast?
That's all I got.
All right, so this thing starts off with Eric Stoltz kind of standing. This is I think the first thing to say about this movie is very stylized.
Very stylized.
Very stylized.
Very solemn.
Yeah, but it looks very much to me, a lot of it like a rock video, right? Like a lot of the imagery.
Yeah.
So Eric Stoltz plays Simon, who is an angel that has come to Earth. And in a voiceover, he basically is talking about this war of angels and immortals, and
the Second War.
Master? What is this war about?
So this war is about this war is about. Now listen, John was giving me some tips on how to do walking.
I can't necessarily do it great, but here was what I was telling him: you got to do the cadence thing, but every once in a while you got to drop like octaves and get like real serious on one word. So it'd be like, one heaven, God, essentially the angel's not in his favor anymore. Now he loves those monkeys, the humans, right? Like that's the thing.
Oh, that was perfect. Yeah. So basically you just said it. Yeah. So the war is, Gabriel's basically the leader of one side and he's just pissed off because there was the lie. The lie was that God loved the angels the best, but now, no, God loves the humans the best. They have the soul, and, he's just pissed off. He's one pissed off angel.
He's pissed off. The Eric Stoltz character, Simon, is an angel that is still on the side of God.
Yeah. More like, hey, we're angels. Just deal with it.
Right.
That's what we do.
That's it. Like, we don't have to be, his best friend, but we're still in his grace, and a lot of fiction about like God and angels comes down to like it's like they're jealous of humans. Meanwhile, we are going to meet him later, but I think we should just throw it out there. Lucifer is kind of on the side of the good angels because he doesn't want
another hell.
One
hell's good enough.
His whole thing is one hell is enough. If Gabriel wins and he turns Earth into this like fucking apocalyptic cesspool, it's just going to become Hell Part 2.
Yeah.
And I'm already like running Hell Part 1. The sequel is never as good as the original.
I don't need any help.
Right. Don't need any help. I'm the man. So we meet Simon. He ends up running afoul of, what's his name? Uziel?
Uziel, yes. Yeah.
This other angel.
Well, we see Father. Well, not Father.
No, I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
I just want to bring in the major players. So
Yep.
Uziel is a bad angel that comes to Earth. And him and Simon have a battle. where Simon ends up getting the upper hand and killing Uziel, but he gets mortally wounded as well.
I also want to talk about that killing scene.
Yes, go for it.
All right, so and we're gonna shift back to the beginning and then come back across this again.
You've heard the Pint. You know what we do.
Yeah, this is what we do. But when they're fighting in the apartment, they're going at it, jacking each other up against the wall and shit. And then Eric Stoltz or Simon gets Uziel's, skull in his hands.
Yeah.
He's got his thumbs in his eye holes. And then he throws him out the window.
Yep.
Okay. Then Uziel falls into this alleyway. Literally in just an alleyway between two buildings. There is a car that's fucking barreling down that alleyway at 50 miles an hour, hits the falling Uziel and drives right into a wall.
Yeah.
Why was he driving down that alleyway at 50 miles an hour when there's a wall 10 feet away from him?
Guy was trying to kill himself and an angel fell in front of him.
Is that it? That's the answer? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it. That's the answer.
Or it's just ridiculously poor filmmaking, but yeah, I'm going to go with that. So, what's really weird is, and I knew, it's really weird. I knew you did this, but like before we started talking, you put the prophecy on your TV and I could see your TV and I was watching part of it before we started recording. And as we're talking, I looked up and I almost went, hey, the prophecy is on right now. What a fucking coincidence. So Simon has now been mortally wounded. And he goes and kind of hides out in a elementary school in this little like New Mexico or Arizona town.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the beginning, we meet a police detective named Thomas Daggett.
Yeah.
But what's his backstory, Manster?
So his backstory is the very beginning of the movie. Once you get past the Eric Stoltz in the desert, he's in a cathedral,
right?
A big place of worship, and there's a bunch of fathers people being, what is it, coronated? I don't know.
Promoted to priest,
to priesthood.
Yeah.
So there's this big ceremony going on.
They're getting drafted.
Yeah, they're getting drafted.
The Dallas Cowboys with the 72nd selection select Thomas Daggett as Catholic priest.
So you lay down on the floor and you kiss the floor.
Yeah.
And then, some priest does some holy water and some jizz on you and you're good. Anyway, while he's laying on the floor, he's just got this vision that he gets and he sees the angels, the fighting and the civil war.
Yeah.
And then I guess he just loses the voice of God.
Yeah. He loses his
God
faith.
no longer speaks to him and his faith is over. And you don't see it, but, apparently he gets up and runs away and everybody yells at him probably. But
so that's a flashback. And then in the current time, he's a police detective.
Right.
So apparently your vocations are either Catholic priest or police detective.
Right, detective. That's it.
Got to ask you a question.
And when you're a priest, you have to write books, apparently?
Yeah. His thesis.
Yeah, his
right?
thesis,
He wrote this whole thesis about angels. And I got to ask you this technical question. Elias Koteas, his hairpiece, did it bother you? It bothered me. Clearly a wig.
Yeah.
Clearly
no, it didn't really bother me.
It bothered me. I just, there are bald people out there.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not like this is a sexy movie. You're not trying to make him the hunk character. Just let him be bald or let him, figure something out.
So was he wearing a wig during Ninja Turtles?
No, but I think, maybe.
Maybe that was 5 years later.
5 years later, and maybe he wore a wig in Ninja Turtles. It looked better. His wig in this one did not look good.
Yeah.
It clearly looked like a hairpiece to me.
Okay. I wasn't too bothered by it, though.
It was taking me out. But, so now we have that set up. And he is the cop that is brought in to investigate the Uziel death. He brings him to Banya. Banya, the body goes to Banya. Banya is the mortician. And he goes and visits him and he starts to tell him, here are all the odd things about this body. Master, what are some of the odd things about this body?
Well, he's got a bone structure that is like an infant's.
Yes.
It doesn't have the rings.
The growth rings, yeah.
The growth rings.
No eyes.
Shit. Oh, yeah, no eyes, obviously. Yeah, they talk about that at the scenes. Maybe they're in the grate, the car grate. What else does he have?
He basically just says he's like an aborted fetus.
I got another one. He's a hermaphrodite.
Yes. Dick, balls, pussy.
Yeah.
Got it all.
Yeah. I like that's what, if you recall from Stand By Me, that's what Teddy calls Gordy as he's leaving. Go on, you hermaphrodite.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has the blood chemistry of an aborted fetus. But he's also got an ancient Bible with him.
Right.
So I'll have to say, if anybody knows, I recently went to Ireland, and I went to Trinity College in Ireland.
Okay.
And in Trinity College, they have the Book of Kells, which is like an ancient manuscript Bible. And it's amazing. It's preserved. It's incredible.
You got ketchup on it? Is that what you're getting to?
Yeah. No, this thing's under glass. You can't go near it. You can't even take pictures. But this book looks just like the Book of Kells.
Okay.
Yeah. It's ancient. It's got pictures. It's got things scribed all over it. It's pretty amazing. I'm looking at it and I'm like, Book of Kells.
So he looks at this book and Thomas immediately notices something and laughs at it. And what is it about this book that Thomas notices is off?
Is it the extra chapter you're talking about? Yeah, the extra chapter after Revelations, I believe.
Yeah,
about angels.
Whatever it is, it's like he's like what Banya's like, what are you laughing about? He goes, well, this is the book of whatever Leviticus, and he's like, well, what's so funny? He's like, well, it's got the 23rd chapter in it, and he's like, so, and he's like, there is no 23rd chapter. This is like this is the fucking. He says it's a teacher's edition.
Yeah, right, yeah. Right. Yeah, Banya was good in this.
He is good.
I like his character. I like the way he talks.
He is good.
Yeah.
He's a good foil. Now, did they ever say, I don't remember in this movie, because clearly, even though they're angels, they have limitations. Let's talk about them. They can be hurt or killed.
Yeah. I guess, is it because they're on Earth?
The whole thing with the aborted fetus, what I didn't get was, did his, soul come down and then he inhabited the body of a little baby and it grew into him? But see, Eric Stoltz's character didn't seem to be like that. He had eyes.
They don't explain that. Yeah, they both at one point didn't have eyes, because in the very beginning, Eric Stoltz also didn't have eyes, then they appear.
They appear, correct. Weird. So, okay, yeah.
The other thing I have to say is, when Daggett comes back to his own apartment and Simon is in his apartment, he's perched on the back of a chair. Every time they show them, they're perched like birds. Yes, they are very bird-like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it was a very
angels'
interesting
wings, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but
you're
really
right. Considered an angel a bird.
Oh, I don't think of them as a bird either, but they have fucking wings.
Yeah.
I don't think of you as a bird because you don't have wings.
But that was unique, and every angel that we saw at one point was in that position somehow. Even
Lucifer.
Yeah.
At the end, when he's on that little rock formation, he's crouched down the same way. That's what's happening there. Daggett's investigating it. Simon is dying in the schoolyard, or in the schoolhouse, where Virginia Madsen is the teacher, and the little girl Mary ends up finding him. He's hiding out, and she brings him food, and she brings him something to drink. There is a creepy scene here, even though he's the hero. So, but let's get to this first. Why? Now, and then we also get introduced to Gabriel, the Christopher Walken character, who is the bad guy of the film. He is the leader he's Uziel's leader. He comes to reclaim Uziel's body, and that's a good scene. We'll talk about it in a second. But why are they all here? What are they looking for?
The whole point of this is Gabriel is here to find the dark soul.
Yes.
So this is what this was also in the book, the ancient script of the Bible that Daggett was interpreting. Right. So they're looking for a dark soul. And we know who the dark soul is because we see it in a newspaper that Simon was looking at.
Right.
So there's this ex-military guy who was not convicted, but he had done war crimes.
War crimes, yeah. We get a flashback. He has human faces in a suitcase.
Yeah, that's when he goes to see him. So it's this guy, Arnold Hawthorne.
Colonel, yeah.
Yeah, Colonel Arnold Hawthorne. So that's where Simon goes. That's the town where he goes to, where this guy is buried. He's not even buried yet. He's still in a coffin in some church. So Simon finds him, goes there, opens the coffin lid, and just, makes out with the guy. But really, he's sucking his soul out.
He sucks his soul right the fuck. He sucks his soul right the fuck out.
Yeah, right out.
Yeah.
Right out. And then he goes to the schoolhouse, because that's what you do after you suck out souls. You go to schoolhouses with abandoned, is every schoolhouse has this run room that everything is in there, tables and chairs upside down. And
it's where they keep the globes.
Yeah. Anyway, he goes in there, and that's where, when we go to the school, we see young Mary, and we see Rachel, the teacher, Virginia Madsen. And Mary just happens to be walking around. They're playing some kind of game of hide and seek or something. And she goes in there and she sees Simon, who's injured from the fight with Uziel, just sort of laying there.
Literally, that scene's playing right now as you're talking. Literally.
That's funny. Yeah,
that's funny. So he is dying, and they are all there to get this soul. He wants it to keep it away from Gabriel. Gabriel wants it because this is the most evil soul of all time.
Yeah.
And that will tip, if that soul doesn't go to hell and he's able to use it on Earth, that will tip the scales in the battle against blah, blah, blah.
Perfectly said.
Perfectly said. Gabriel's first scene is pretty great. He goes to, first he goes to meet Jerry, right?
Yeah.
We have no explanation.
So I didn't know, who is this Jerry guy at first? Does he know? Because he seems to know Gabriel as soon as he sees him, but...
Here's my answer to that. He doesn't know him.
He doesn't.
But he's dead.
Right.
And he's crossed over to the point where he, I think, has a higher knowledge of what's happening in the world.
Right.
Right? Like, he knows things now. So, like I don't know, God or the devil right now, but maybe if I die, maybe I would go, oh, look, it's God, it's the devil. So he is a suicide.
He's a suicide. You can see the noose
right
on the hanging from his ceiling.
They real quick shot of him and a girl.
Yeah,
it's a sad song playing, and he's just sitting there smoking cigarettes as Gabriel shows up.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Gabriel he needs a minion.
This brings up the limitations. He can't drive for some reason. And
so funny.
He just wants a minion to do like menial things for him.
Yeah, just menial things. Like, he's got to go to the morgue and burn up Uziel's body, but somebody's got to go get his belongings.
Right.
Because he needs that book.
So he tells him, he's like, you're going to bring me to the morgue. You're going to go to the front desk. You're going to give him this name and this number. You're going to collect his goods. I'll take care of the other half. And Jerry's just like, why won't you let me die?
Yeah, can I just die? Can you just fucking kill me?
No, you will eventually. But I'm going to make you suffer, long enough to help me out. So they go, great scene when he goes in to get the body.
Oh, I love the way he dispatches the guard.
The guard gets up and is like, hey, you can't come in here. And he just, shh, and it puts the guy right out.
Yep.
Like, he just does that, puts the guy right out. And then this is just a great scene where he opens up the drawer. The other thing I like that they do with the angels in this, specifically walking a lot. You notice he sniffs a lot?
Walken has the keenest sense of smell, also taste, because remember he licked that tabletop?
Yes.
And he's like, Simon.
Yeah.
From licking a tabletop.
I like those little bits quite a bit. So he opens up the drawer, he sees Uziel's body, takes it out, he puts it like on the ground in the morgue, and then he gets out like this bottle.
Did you like the sign on the drawers, the body drawers?
Don't put your beer in here?
Yeah, these drawers are for bodies, not beer.
Yes, yeah. So he puts them on the ground. He gets out a bottle of what I'm assuming might be some kind of holy water or something that's important to him. He kind of puts it on a rag, anoints him, like kind of puts it behind his ears.
Is it like aftershave?
Yeah, Dracan Noir. You smell like $1 million, Uziel. And he gets up, and then in a great scene, he just kind of walks away from him.
He's got a great gesture.
He walks towards the camera. He stops. He turns his head. He makes a gesture with his hand, and then the body just goes up in fucking flames.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. So he's taking care of that. Him and Jerry now are on the hunt for the soul. So they are heading to the desert to go to where Captain Hawthorne has been buried. Okay. Meanwhile, Mary has met Simon. Simon is dying from his wounds from his fight with Uziel. And he does run into Gabriel, right? I think Gabriel's the one who actually puts him. Doesn't he run into Gabriel, and Gabriel's the one that actually hurts him to the point where he's about to die?
No, I think Gabriel. Yeah, but that's after the Mary scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after he gives it to Mary.
Yeah. Because Simon comes looking, or Gabriel comes looking for Simon. And it's like, where's the soul? I know you know where it is.
Right.
He's like, I don't have it.
Where's the soul?
So where is it? So, and then he burns him, but brings him back and burns him. So it's like this.
He could go on forever.
Just torturing him.
I could do this all day. Yeah. So what did he do with the soul?
So so when Mary walks in on Simon, he's like, I'm hungry. Can you go get me like a burger at McDonald's or something?
Can I tell you something creepy about this scene?
Yeah.
She gets him the food, right?
Yeah.
They're drinking out of one can of Coke with 2 straws.
Yeah.
I get it. He's an angel, and I get she's a little girl, and I get that I'm not supposed to be creeped out by any of this. I'm creeped out.
I'm creeped out because that's a little girl, and that's just some strange man who's hurt in your schoolyard.
And then it had.
But Virginia Madsen even is sort of enthralled by him.
Yes. Yeah.
The teacher.
Maybe it's Angel.
Yeah, maybe he mesmerizes them or something.
Yeah.
Angel Mojo. Yeah, I think that's
I was also uncomfortable with the scene where he gives her the soul because it's a kissing scene.
So here's what happens. She comes back, and he's in there. He's and before she has to leave, because Rachel wants her to leave, he's like, I got a secret for you. He goes, what is it? Well, I can't. If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret. So just come here. And she comes close, and basically it looks like he's making out with her.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's rough.
There's a lot. I mean, I get it. He's an angel. I get it. He's on the side of good. But everything that's said in the scene or done in the scene is stranger danger. I got a secret for you.
It's total stranger danger.
Hey, Mary, come here. I got a secret for you. Put your lips on mine. Like, what? Like, what the fuck's happening right now? So
he blows the soul into Mary.
Yes.
And instantly makes Mary feel sick.
She's like, my tummy hurts.
Yeah.
And then she barfs, and Virginia Madsen brings her back to her grandmother on the reservation. Because this is all like on a Native American reservation.
Yep.
So at this point, the Virginia Madsen character, what is her name? What's her name again?
Rachel.
Her and Thomas Daggett, the cop, start to kind of work together and to kind of figure out what's going on. And they both come to the conclusion that like this Hawthorne character and the soul seems to be in Rachel, and the soul seems to be in Mary, and Mary's like grandmother is going to bring her to the top of like this, like their village, like
isn't that Chimney Rock?
Chimney
right?
Rock.
Yeah.
Going to bring her to Chimney Rock to be like this Native American exorcism thing. I mean, that's all kind of what's happening throughout this thing. We get some more stuff where eventually what ends up happening to Jerry? He gets killed, right? At one point?
Well, that comes when there's the final showdown. Yeah, there's actually a lot that happens.
No, Jerry dies halfway through the movie.
Yeah, but all right, so he comes in and they're fighting with Thomas, and Gabriel is there too. Jerry's like about to get on top of Thomas, and Thomas just shoots him three times. And Jerry's like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
He just wants to die.
Because that's preceded by the scene in the church where Thomas goes to the church. Yeah, and Gabriel meets him in the church.
Gabriel, right?
And he doesn't know who Gabriel is at that point. Right. I love that scene because he's like, it's great that someone your age comes to church on a weeknight, and this is where Elias Koteas does a lot of Robert De Niro stuff, like the head shaking and that. And then he says, he calls him Thomas. And he's like, "Do I know you?"
Right. Yeah.
And this is where we get the great line about the upper lip. Like you do know me.
You know how you have that dent on your lip, right? That's when I touched you there, and I said, "Shh."
What did he say? Something like, "I'm." Can you keep a secret or something like that? Yeah. Paraphrasing, but yeah, it's just everything Walken says in this is just like fucking gold, like it is for most stuff. But this is where he just tells him right out, like Thomas realizes it. Thomas believes, right? Yep. Even though his faith is gone, he realizes that this is fucking the Archangel Gabriel.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows, and he knows that like. He learned that they're looking for this soul, and there's a scene actually where I think later it's where Lucifer explains it, is that the dark soul is what is going to tip the balance of what we talked about, but like where it's kind of laid out to the characters.
Yeah, that's where you learn about it.
So at one point after Jerry is mercy killed and they're getting ready to bring her to the Chimney Rock, he has to get another minion. And this is where he goes. Right. He goes to the hospital. And he's looking at all the charts, and it's like, this one's going to recover. This one, and then he finds Amanda Plummer's character, who, again, very much like Jerry, she doesn't know him.
No,
he's there. She dies, and he's going to take her over to drive around and stuff.
Yeah, because he needs someone who can drive.
Yeah,
somehow he can get from heaven to Earth in Arizona, but he can't drive anywhere.
He can't drive. All right, what am I missing? Where are we at?
Oh, there's just a lot of. You briefly talked, but Thomas goes to the home of Arnold Hawthorne, the deceased, and finds the Foot Locker, finds reels and newspapers and fucking skinned faces
in a suitcase, in a briefcase.
Box. Yeah, guy was really terrible.
Yeah.
The girl Mary has some dreams, so she's now like seeing visions of the soul that's in her body.
Right.
What
does she say? She at one point, I think she becomes him, and she's like, "It's real easy to behead a Chinaman."
That's right. She starts talking like in his voice.
Yeah.
So we also see Gabriel at the school, so that's kind of creepy because now you got Gabriel with all these children around,
the kids, and his trumpet, which I didn't realize that's a part of the lore of Gabriel is his trumpet is what signifies the end of the world. So he's sitting there with his trumpet and he's playing with the kids, and he lets one.
They're
kid,
on his lap.
They're on his lap, and he's like blow into my trumpet, and the kid does, and he's like, it's very powerful. Be careful. The kid does just like one note, and all the like fucking windows in the like one section of the school explode.
Just blow right out.
Yeah, that was a good scene, and then. Yeah, that's because he's looking for Mary, and he's asking all the kids, like, Sandra, come here. Where's Mary? Where's your friend Mary? Virginia Madsen is like, approaches him and is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you?
We also have when Virginia Madsen sees the mine shaft, and then Thomas is looking. He's like, I don't know where Gabriel is. She's like, I know where he is. I'll take you there. And they go into the mine.
Right.
And then they see, like, the caves and whatnot, and they see this angelic script on the wall. And then they both have the same vision.
Yes,
the angels on pikes. And I guess they have a philosophical discussion in there, right? I think he tells them, angels are God's mercenaries and there's a lot of philosophical, religious themes in this.
Yeah, he kind of talks about how, like, angels got very tired of, or I guess it was hard on them because, everybody thinks that angels one way, but like all the worst stuff that God would make happen. Like he's like, when God would smite like a village, like it's something you read in the Bible, these are who he sent to do it. That's what an angel is. An angel is not necessarily like, you've gone to heaven, you've earned your wings. An angel is God's like warrior.
Yeah.
His mercenary. Yeah.
So after that, we're at the trailer home. Yeah, the trailer home. And so this is where it starts getting to the end of the movie. So Gabriel's at the trailer home. That's where Jerry gets killed.
Yep.
And, it's like he's about to like really do some damage. And then Virginia Madsen, Rachel shoots. Well, it looks like he's shooting him, but she's not shooting him. She shoots like a tank, a fuel tank at the trailer.
Yes.
It blows up and it takes out Gabriel, sort of.
Yeah.
It takes him out, but the cops come and take him away. They put him in the car, but he opens his eyes and like winks or something.
Yeah, because he's on the ground and
right.
Daggett's like, handcuff him. And they're like, he is not getting up. He's like, handcuff him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's after that where he goes to the hospital and gets Rachel. And then he's on his way to Chimney Rock. So now we're all at Chimney Rock.
Coming to Chimney Rock where they're going to be doing the Native American exorcism. And this is where we meet Lucifer.
Yeah.
Look, I've seen this movie several times. I haven't seen it in a long time. But there's a line in this movie I will never forget. And that's when Lucifer is talking to Rachel. And because he's hovering around.
You know what? Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Rachel's from a different movie. It's Catherine.
Oh.
Boy, did I fuck up. It's Catherine.
Rachel from here on out.
Okay, Rachel.
Okay. So Rachel is talking to him, and I like the scene because, first of all, his Lucifer is really great. Like, he's got slick back hair. He's got a beard.
I mean, it looks like Viggo, but
he's wearing
doesn't look like
he's wearing
Viggo.
like eyeliner. He looks like a dude.
Oh, it's the eyeliner is cool.
He looks like a dude that you might see at like a concert you would go to.
Yeah.
But he's also Satan, right?
Yeah.
But what I like about it is that just his presence and his company, she realizes who he is, right? He says things.
Yep.
But like, I like the kind of the realization. And also, it happens also with Thomas. Thomas knows that this is the devil.
Yeah, it's a really good scene with Thomas because he's like almost was a priest,
right?
And Lucifer comes up behind him and holds him, like in a almost like a loving grasp. And you just have to put yourself in that character's mind. Like, I'm a religious guy, and the devil is holding me. He's got his grip on me.
He's on my side.
Yeah.
Or at least
it's just a weird thing to deal with.
At the very end, jumping ahead when all's said and done, he invites them to come back. He's like, do you want to come with me?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's his way. That's what he's the devil. He wants to build a following. But the line he says to Rachel that I absolutely love is when she's like kind of like not believing him at first. And he says, I don't know, paraphrase it, but it's like, I can easily lay you out with your mother's feces in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That line, I've never forgotten that line.
I did forget, but yeah, that's a crazy line.
I could just as easily lay you out with your mother's feces in your mouth. And she's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's some devil shit right there.
Nobody's ever said anything like that to me before. Like
that's way beyond, does your mother lay your panties out for you?
Yeah. More Seinfeld, yeah. So they have these conversations, and Manster, like Lucifer is trying to get them to do his bidding, right?
Yep.
Because he doesn't want that secondary hell.
Yeah. No, one hell is enough.
You know what else is great about the Lucifer character in this? Is those weird little dudes that are with him.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like those little like
he's got his
monster-
own minions.
But they're like fucking creatures.
They're messed up. Yeah.
They just like hiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hisses back at him to shut him the fuck up.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? Where the exorcism starts, there's a storm, right?
Yeah, the exorcism starts. Everybody's there. Gabriel's there now.
Gabriel bursts in, yeah.
And so they start like fighting Gabriel, right?
Yeah.
Are they? All right. Gabriel takes over. They're going against Gabriel, but Gabriel's now just about to kill Thomas and Catherine, or Rachel at this point.
Rachel.
But Lucifer steps in.
He interferes, correct?
Yeah. And then he rips out Gabriel's heart.
Yes, and eats it, right?
It starts eating his heart.
Takes a bite of it, yeah.
Yeah. A very creepy scene. And at the same time, the dark soul is being exorcised from Mary. And it totally distorts her face. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
It comes out of her mouth and her face gets...
It was bad CGI, right?
Yeah,
I remember it
crazy
being
looking.
yeah.
But then the soul comes out and it goes up and it starts like it's going in after Thomas. Like it's going to kill him.
Right.
But the skies open up. A great beam of light comes down from heaven and takes that soul away.
Yeah. Everything's all set. Mary is now safe. The soul has been demolished. So and Gabriel like leaves, right? Like I think Gabriel, he either dies.
Well, he's killed by Lucifer.
He's killed, but yeah, I can't remember. Like, does his body disintegrate, or I can't remember. What
maybe
then.
it disintegrates or something, but he's no more.
And this is where Lucifer, says to them, you want to come back with me? Like, it reminds me. I do want to bring it up because I can't not bring it up.
He's got the crazy red rimmed eyes at this point. He's transformed a little. He looks more evil.
He ate the heart, right?
Yeah.
Like he's got a little bit more. I do want to bring up one of my other favorite lines in this movie is when Gabriel is trying to convince Thomas at one point to kind of come over to his side, and he's talking about heaven. And he's like, "Stay up as late as you want. Yeah. All the ice cream you can eat.
All the ice cream."
And then it kind of ends with Rachel, who's not named Rachel in this movie, and Thomas Daggett and little Mary on this bluff or whatever, and just kind of ends there. Evil has not won the day, but guess what? There's 4 more prophecy movies coming.
Yeah, and then there's a good scene at the end with Thomas and Rachel. He has a line about like faith, not understanding God's plan is what gives us a soul.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this little philosophical thing that they do here.
Yeah. All right, that's 1995.
And that's it. Yeah, it's over.
1995's The Prophecy here on All Horror October. Manster, let's talk about the box office.
Where's the money? When are you going to get the money? Why aren't you getting the money now? And so on. So please, the money.
The budget for this was $8 million. In the opening weekend, it made $7.5 million. And on the year, it made 16.1. So the weekend it came out, Prophecy was number 3. Dangerous Minds was number 2.
Never saw that.
Me neither. And Mortal Kombat was number 1.
Mortal Kombat.
On the year, 1995, Prophecy came in at number 92. Number 3 was Apollo 13. Number 2, Batman Forever. And number 1, Toy Story.
Yeah, first Pixar. All right, let's rate this thing.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll. Bring the noise.
All right, let's do it. 0 to 5. 0 being the worst thing ever, 5 being the best thing ever. Quarter and half scale optional. Manster, I'm going to let you go first. What do you give 1995's The Prophecy?
I like this movie. I do. I've seen it before. That's why I bought the 3-disc collection. I always remember, remembering like it felt like it was a religious movie. I went to watch it, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 ago, just on my own. But I was busy doing it, and I just kind of got bored, and I just turned it off. But, I wasn't really paying attention. When I went back and watched it, I was like, yeah, this is a good movie. Christopher Walken is excellent as Gabriel. He has a presence on screen that you just can't beat. I mean, I've talked to people that said this is their favorite Christopher Walken movie. Elias Kodia says, a fallen faith person. He has the right amount of introspection, but I don't find him boring.
No, I like
that kind of character could be pretty boring, but I think it works on screen. I like the theological side of the story. I think it's more interesting that angels are not the happy, loving creatures that we make them out to be. They're more like warriors, and it's just cool. It's a good take on it. And I think even if you're not a religious person or maybe you don't have a faith, I think you can still be pulled in by the lore of it, because it's nothing specific. It's not saying, it's not preachy or anything like that.
No.
It's just showing you another side, and I think it's relatable regardless. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'm not that high on it. I do enjoy this movie. Good performances, like all-star cast, right? And Christopher Walken, right off the bat, is just fantastic in this. He plays a larger-than-life character, and that's what Gabriel the Archangel would be.
Yeah.
You could kind of picture that, like, very easily. I like Elias Koteas. He is always solid in whatever he's in. And I do like his character. I like this man of faith that's lost his faith, but now is in a situation where he needs his faith.
Yeah.
Or at least he needs to rely on what he knew at one point to figure all this stuff out. Virginia Madsen is Rachel, aka Catherine. She's fine. She doesn't have a lot to do, but at least they had the sense to make her look hot as fuck. So yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, no titties, but that's fine.
That's fine. And then a good supporting cast. The Banya is fun. But I mean, Adam Goldberg, he's fun. Amanda Plummer is given less to do, but her dynamic with Christopher Walken is still kind of funny.
Good scene in the diner.
Yeah, the diner scene is fun, where he's talking to the waitress, and like at the end when he says something like he's gonna leave or something, she's like, "Good." The waitress is like creeped out by him.
I hope I never see you again.
Yeah. She says something like that, right? So yeah, I enjoy the cast. I like the idea of this war in heaven, and the whole idea, like you said, of angels not just being like these little white things that are all cheruby and everything, but these are like fucking like hardcore, like almost like the opposite of demons, but like still kind of demonic almost.
Yeah, right.
So I had a lot of fun with that. There's some cool effect scenes in this. There's some cool gore right now. We got the trumpet scene right now playing on your TV. And I find it to be a good mixture of humor and kind of seriousness and starkness. It's an enjoyable film, and also I don't know how long it is, but it also does not overstay its welcome. Hour 45,
hour
maybe
45, somewhere right around there.
Beauty. You know me, and you. We don't like those.
Yeah.
Generally, don't like those 2+ hour movies unless we really have to. But yeah, I just enjoy this movie, so I'm going to go lower. I think it's very solid. I'm going to go with a 3. I'm going to go with
3, just 3.
I'm going to go with a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not my all time favorite. If Christopher Walken wasn't in this movie, I could see it dipping a little bit further. It's heavily based on his performance, but I do enjoy this movie, so I'm going to go with a 3. All right. So that is it for us this week here on All Horror October. And the way it is shaping up, next week is the last week where we will be talking about, on Halloween, the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Scary Larry Dwyer. It is a Scary Larry's House of Horrors Halloween special. So please check us out next week. And if you haven't already, go over to Patreon/The Pint, where you, for $2.50, get all kinds of extra episodes. This month, during All Horror October, you probably, at this point, if you are a subscriber, have already heard our episode on the Amityville Horror, which is celebrating its 45th anniversary. And later this month, Swamp Thing from 1982.
Yeah.
So that's 2 extra episodes.
I feel like we recorded Amityville like 7 months ago.
We recorded it in July. Okay. I started editing it today. Today is October 10th, or October 11th. It's a good edit because I feel like I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes we record and I'll edit and release the episode that day. And it's like having the same conversation twice in one day.
I remember James Brolin looked like a lion.
I said that. I said the human lion, and we all laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of fun. Master, tell everybody where they can find us.
Any of your podcatchers, we come out weekly on Facebook and YouTube. It's The Pint, a pop culture podcast. And Instagram and Threads, it's at The Pint Podcast.
Stay up as late as you want. All the ice cream you could eat.
Enjoy some ice cream.
See ya.
Ice cream.
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 See ya.
Bye.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!